Hello, beautiful souls. Let's talk about the power of soul surrender in the emergence of joy. I don't know about you, but I am someone that probably struggled with joy. I'm not talking about the momentary happiness of fulfilling something that you might want or need. I'm not talking about the happiness of those moments when you might get together with friends and things are just going great. I'm not talking about happiness. Happiness is a fleeting state. Joy is an unwavering state. And what I didn't realize growing up is that joy needs to come from a foundation of peace. And peace comes from letting go. And I have been on a journey of letting go and surrender to find and access this foundation of peace for my whole life. And those of you who've been following me and witnessing my Be a Beacon community growing and working with me, experiencing my music, my artwork, all of this incredible manifestation, which has been the most easeful period in so many ways of my life, has come about through this growing capacity to surrender to my soul self and to first feel my own inherent unwavering divine peace. And from that, joy has been growing more and more and more as a continuous state that might rest in a quiet joy and wonder of the world, and expands and moves and grows and shifts and changes in different situations, but it never goes away. And this last month that I was in the desert, hello beautiful Sarah, this last month when I was in the desert, where I've shared with some of you before, if you've seen some of my lives, where I was truly, again, putting myself in a position to increase my capacity to surrender every day, and I was only acting in response to my soul self, has deepened this capacity to trust that we can live. You can live from a place of surrender, and that place of complete surrender with no have-tos truly gives you permission to be in your joy, to live in your joy, and to create from your joy. Because when you tap into the truth of that inner joy, and like I say, I'm not talking momentary happiness because of what you're doing or external circumstance. I'm talking that deep joy born of peace that is a cultivated state we're in when we're in a human body, right? When you really deeply can feel that joy and you give yourself permission to have joy, because that is your inherent state, that is the state of your soul self, then you know what? In that joy, you are like a magnet. You are like a beacon to the beautiful butterfly of your soul's desires. Since I've been back from the desert with that month of complete surrender, oh my goodness, I have had so much gold flow into my life. I've shared you some in a literal form, this beautiful golden opal ring, but in so many other ways, through collaborative components, through divine insights, through joyful opportunities, and the capacity to be able to stop things that haven't been working in my business that have been there for a long time, and to trust the intuitive downloads that come when we completely surrender. And yet I have consistently still needed to remind my soul self and align with my soul self, because the mind is strong. The mind is being entrained by our environment all the time that there is a certain way to do things. There is a structure of doing things. There is a best way to do things, particularly in business. And yet my soul knows that when I surrender and I get those intuitive downloads which flow in from that place, when I follow those, the juice is there. Have you felt that? You are a creator, and a creator is creative. Whether you think you're creative or not, if you're a creator, you are of course creative. It doesn't have to look in an artistic way. And creatives don't plan their steps and goals set and have all that structure in place around the creation or the creative process. Once those downloads have come through, have bubbled up, then yes, there's a few steps that you can maybe plan out. But you know what? I go one step at a time, because if we look too far ahead, it gets overwhelming. You lose your joy. You start getting into the how. I know, and it is true for you, it is true for all of us, that when I can come into that place of receptivity, which first is peaceful presence, and second is that quiet and sometimes not so quiet joy, and my soul speaks to me as it will to you in that space, then you are maybe given the first step, maybe the second step, and it is up to you to stay in that joy, which brings you the juice and the capacity and the cooperative components in order to carry out that first step. You are entrusted with trusting the process to do that first or second step, and then the next step will be revealed. I see this all of the time, that the next steps will be revealed when you trust to do the first step. This is the way of the Creator. And you are that. You are a creator. You are a creative. You are here to discover that. And like I say, the first steps are finding that peace within you and allowing that peace to cultivate into joy. What are the things that bring you the most joy? Start there. What are the practices that you already have that bring you the most peace? Start there. And then train yourself to move through surrender and follow those soul downloads. That's where a lot of people get hijacked. You get a soul download, you get a divine inspiration, and then you don't follow through because fear hijacks you, because you haven't trained your trust and trained your capacity to hold peace under pressure. Right? And those of you that have come and joined my work, or those of you in the beacons, that is what we're all about, embodying peace, embodying joy, because otherwise your fears and your doubts will get the better of you, and you won't learn to trust your soul's voice. Once you do, and you follow those steps, because you can differentiate between your soul self speaking and your mind, then there's gold, right? Then you will take those steps and you will build your faith, because you are taking the steps and you're seeing the fruits come. So be in your joy. If it's not true joy, then it's not lasting. If it's happiness, it's affected by whether you have something or don't have something, or doing something or don't do something. To cultivate true joy and true creativity, it comes from within you. And you can start by tapping into what are the things that really feel like they bring you joy or happiness. Usually it's something creative. It might be cooking, it might be artwork, it might be journaling, it might be connecting with nature. But the underlying thing is that it connects you to the essence of yourself. That's joy. An activity or something that brings you into the essence of yourself, and then you keep remembering that essence of yourself, and then that joy becomes everlasting. Yes? Whereas happiness just sort of ticks a few human wants. True joy is something that connects you to the essence of yourself. Where do you feel the most joyful? Start there. It will remind you of the essence of yourself, remind you of the true nature of who you are, which is joy. And then you can keep reminding yourself that that is who you are, even when you're not doing that thing. And all those beautiful downloads will come in. And then you need to follow through. Now, if you need help in holding the capacity of that, right, of embodying that, because it is a journey, we're being entrained to other than that all of the time, then reach out, because this is the work that we do in our beacons, in our beacon community, is embodying peace, embodying joy, and gently dissolving all the doubts and fears that are stopping you from knowing the truth of yourself all of the time, which is hijacking you, putting into action the downloads that you get, or stops you from being able to discern What is your mind and what is your soul speaking? And you need that to be able to move forward. So reach out, PM me, or put a message on here, and we can chat about ways that we can train you and help you to know and sustain and hold the energy of who you really are. So go and have some real fun, some real joy. Remember that which is true joy is tapping you into the essence of who you really are, and you are always that. And have an amazing day, rest of your day and weekend. Much love.